A huge win, a statement win for Arsenal over Manchester City in the Community Shield in Cardiff. It is the Gunners winning by 3-0. It started impressively as they got a goal inside of the first minute of the game through Riccardo Calafiori, then goals from Kai Havertz and Martin Ødegaard as well. A dominant victory and a poor start for Enzo Maresca's reign in Manchester. And guys, I think we have to start with what this means from an Arsenal point of view. Yes, it is the Community Shield, but at the same time, we talked about how long it was for Arsenal to win the Premier League, to win one of the major trophies, either that or the Champions League. They do it last season. You could say, oh, maybe that's the end of their chase. It does, with this performance, feel like almost the beginning of a new era of Arsenal.
Look, you can argue long and loud as to how important the Community Shield is. But what you can't argue about is today, Arsenal rocked up and looked ready, and they rolled over Manchester City 3-0, and probably could have had several more as well. So it was a really good day out for the Gunners. Doesn't guarantee silverware in the future by any stretch of the imagination. But, Mikey, you've been a player. Mentally, that's likely to be your nearest rivals this season. They're tipped as second favourites. To put in a performance like that on today certainly does you no harm whatsoever. It gives you a little bit of feel-good factor.
Yeah, look, as a player, especially for a player on the Arsenal side of things, it just gives you that much more of a psychological edge. Remember, there was so much made about how many Arsenal players were going to be at the World Cup and the loss of William Saliba. This Arsenal side, they looked scary good today, Geoff. The sharpness that they had, the depth that they had. You have Bukayo Saka coming off the bench in the second half, and he could have had 2 or 3 goals in himself. But I was really impressed by the new signings, their impact on this game. We'll get to talk about Christos Tzolis and his decision-making in the final third. But Bruno Guimaraes, for me, today showed why he will be one of the midfield generals for the Gunners. He pocketed Manchester City's entire midfield. There was a point where if you were blind and you didn't know, or you had no clue about football, and you didn't know who was the £117 million signing, would you think it was Bruno Guimaraes or Elliot Anderson? I would have said Bruno Guimaraes. He made them look like school kids on the day, and you have to give full credit to Miles Lewis-Skelly as well, Geoff, because a lot was made about him in the media, and he turned up again today with another brilliant performance, and the assist was world-class.
Yeah, allegedly offered to other clubs. But with that performance today, that pass within the first 26 seconds of the game, absolutely superb. So, look, best way to change your coach's mind about letting you go is to play well and to lay on a goal as well. But the way they're set up, I thought, was interesting. Those two alongside each other with Ødegaard slightly ahead. You've got Zubamendi and Rice as well. So that central midfield for Arsenal looks rock solid. But as you mentioned, it was the other signing that made a lot of the headlines.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a moment, but you also talked about the idea of what the Community Shield actually means. We actually have what the winners of the Community Shield have gone on to do in the Premier League, and none of them have won it, going all the way back to 2019.
You've burst my bubble.
Yes, massive Arsenal fan over here. One of the second-place finishes after winning the Community Shield in 2023, and in 2021, it went on to finish 8th. So, yeah, this is not necessarily a competition that portends. That being said, though, guys, this is still Arsenal as favourites to win the Premier League this season, and they only further cement their status with what they did to City today.
Yeah, it already looks like there's quite some distance. I know that we still have Premier League matches to come, but just from the aura standpoint that Arsenal put up today, there's quite some distance between Arsenal and everyone else when it comes to challenging them, for the Premier League title. One player that I want to give some love to is Martin Ødegaard today, a player, Geoff, who last season had a lot of scrutiny from Arsenal fans. We know the injury track record. We know sometimes in the final third, he wouldn't take his chances. On the day, he absolutely humiliated Gigi Donnarumma with that goal. He could have walked the ball in. He sat him down, Geoff. I mean, it was insane to see him. Coming off a brilliant World Cup campaign for the Norwegian side and the national team at the World Cup, leading him to a quarterfinal, this could be a massive season for Martin Ødegaard. And I'm thinking beyond for the Premier League. I'm thinking for Champions League. You need a player like Martin Ødegaard to be firing full tilt and all cylinders, Geoff.
Yeah, I think it was the day where Arsenal clicked. It clicked. Manchester City, for whatever reason, were not at the races today. So the signs of that, you have to take from it going forwards what can happen actually during the season. Don't forget there's no Saliba today. There's no Jurriën Timber either. So this is not Arsenal at full strength by any stretch of the imagination. So those players have to come back in. But equally, you're easing your way into the season. It's all about context, this game. It was a good run out. It's more than a friendly. but equally, they won't regard this as a major trophy, not by any stretch of the imagination.
As for Christos Tzolis, who we've mentioned a couple of times, a pair of assists. When you get new signings in, you want to see them hit the ground running early. They can feel that sense of comfort. It was kind of suggested when he was brought in, he was almost like a Trossard replacement. He was going to play some, but maybe not all the time. But performances like this, he might lock down that position down that left wing.
He's the assist king, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
His previous club, 29 assists in 52 games. Those stats are sensational. He's got a great delivery on corners as well. I think he looks like a really good signing, an exciting signing. And I agree with you as well. He's come in under the radar.
Yeah, I think he brings a lot of balance to Arsenal's team as a whole. Last season, the last couple seasons, the jury was out on Arsenal minus set pieces, but when they were in full-flowing football, if you could shut down their right-hand side, you see how they build up. Martin Ødegaard shifts to the right-hand side. Bukayo Saka on that right wing. When Jurrien Timber is healthy, on that right wing. Ben White and Bukayo Saka have that chemistry. Now you're seeing a player who's a different profile, in my opinion, than Leandro Trossard. Leandro Trossard, more a goal scorer who wants to get it on the left and go straight at you, shift it to his right, maybe pick the bottom corner or top corner out. Watching Christos Tzolis, when he gets in, it's very similar where he wants to cut inside, but it's the decision-making and he wants to pick the pass. The goal he had, Geoff, where he picks out Martin Ødegaard, that is just sharpshooter sort of mentality of he puts it right through the lines, right through thread of the needle sort of stuff, and it leads to an exceptional goal from Ødegaard.
I mean, let's not forget, Trossard more than contributed last season. Yeah. He's quite a big loss for Arsenal. So had they brought somebody in who doesn't look like they can at least replace the same level as him, it's a retrograde step. But he's made an excellent start, an absolutely excellent start. He looks dynamic to me as well. I think he's got more pace than Trossard. And also, as we said, it's not just his eye for the pass, but it's his actual delivery. I think set pieces he could be dangerous too.
We've talked about the winners a fair bit, as we should in any game in which a trophy is decided, but Manchester City were awful today. Well, I mean, what happened to Manchester City? And is there a worry now that not only this is, one bad performance and it doesn't matter, you can talk about all the ways to the Community Shield, it's not important, but there's a lot for Enzo Maresca to do in terms of replacing Pep Guardiola, in terms of continuing the standard of what Manchester City have been for the last decade. That didn't look anywhere near it. What happened to them today?
Boys, it's a funny one, isn't it? Because we've sat here for the last couple of weeks and we've been looking at friendlies. As I said, this is more than a friendly. It is a competitive game. It is a trophy, but it's not the real thing, if you like. But at what point do you say, this is pre-season, we don't look great here? Because you can't say that all the way up to the opening game and say, friendlies don't matter whatsoever. Do you think Manchester City should be worried on the evidence of today?
I would be because you saw the glaring difference of a City side that could potentially not have Rodri. Remember that he's linked with a move away to La Liga. With Barcelona, I fear for what Manchester City will look like. And yes, this is a Community Shield, but today, without Rodri, it's like trying to put a Porsche or a luxury car without having the right sort of oil in it. Rodri is the engine. Remember, you don't like Porsches? Remember, no Rodri, no Bernardo Silva.
The wrong oil. I mean, the wrong petrol, maybe.
Part of making the car
stay
go.
with me, though, in this. But in all seriousness, Rodri is the glaring difference. Last season, last campaign, when he was fit and healthy, you saw a difference. No Bernardo Silva as well. I'm curious, in the City midfield, you're going to rely on Mateo Kovacic, Geoff, to lead you through the first couple of months?
Of God. You can't accuse a Saudi-owned club of having the wrong oil. I'm sorry.
UAE-owned club, but what's the difference?
You can't.
But, I mean, City, it can be a personnel thing, it can be a tactics thing, but even, you mentioned preseason, they've looked vulnerable to concede goals. That goal, the third goal from Martin Ødegaard, where you've completely broken the opposition team, the goalkeeper's on the floor, just get to pass it in the corner. I mean, that's as embarrassing as it gets, really.
I tell you what I did think. I thought Jack Grealish looked fit as a fiddle when he came on. Didn't he look? He looked so sharp. His face, he looked like he'd really done some pre-season. I really hope he gets going again. He's a great footballer and a good lad. I'd love to see Jack Grealish flying once again.
could also be away from Manchester as well, as it was last season at Everton. For these two teams, though, this is their start to the seasons as we look ahead to what is to come in the Premier League for Arsenal and Manchester City. Arsenal will host the newly promoted Coventry City on the opening day. It's not an easy game for Manchester City, especially on the evidence of what we saw today against Bournemouth. And they'll travel to Palace, host Coventry, visit Manchester United for the derby, and then host Sunderland for Arsenal. Those remaining fixtures, not that easy either. Villa away, Chelsea at home, Sunderland away, and Brighton away. So these two sides will be tested plenty early in this Premier League campaign. But on this day, it was Arsenal absolutely putting Manchester City to the sword. Calafiori, Havertz, and Ødegaard on the score sheet as they beat City by 3-0.